Hi everyone. Welcome to the post-match analysis of this year's Australian Open final between Djokovic and Medvedev. A great match, great performance from Djokovic, which was expected, although there were some physical issues with Djokovic and he was not sure if he would be able to compete at his best level, but he did so. And what an amazing performance, really. We talk about Federer and Nadal always, but I think Djokovic is equally tough in big moments. And today he showed, all the pressure was on him. And Medvedev had said in his press conference that he would just go out there and try to hit the ball as hard as he can and just enjoy his game. And he started off well, even though Djokovic led 3-love up in the first set, but Medvedev did make a comeback and looked like the first set was going to be important, and it proved to be. After the first set, Djokovic was in command and he kept his level, whereas Medvedev's level dropped a little bit. And by the third set, Medvedev's level was really, he was out of sorts and just looking at his box every now and then, and he was dejected, obviously, but still a promising player for the future Grand Slams. So let's just jump into the statistics from today. I think most of them were in the hands of Djokovic, as you can see. So before the match, we were discussing that Medvedev has two strong points. One is his first serve, which was very evident against the match. Against Tsitsipas. I think he played really well. He managed to serve out most of the important games. And the second advantage that Medvedev was having was his aggressive style of play. But again, these 2 points that Medvedev has go against him when he plays against Djokovic, because Djokovic is first of all the best returner in the game, and also he can defend well from the baseline. And we should not forget that this is Djokovic's best surface, the Australian Open. He has won 9 titles here now, more than anybody else. And this surface really suits him. The way he moves, the way he is able to slide on this surface, even though it is quicker this year, but still, because he knows this so well and he was well prepared for it, Djokovic was defending really well. He was taking the ball early as well. He was also trying to be aggressive. He was going for his forehand down the line a lot, taking time away from his opponent. And that's what I think caused issues for Medvedev, because he was not used to playing this fast sort of tennis against the opponent. In the previous matches, Medvedev was dominating the opponents from the baseline and also with his serve. So he was not under any sort of pressure. But here, this time around, Djokovic was returning the ball very deep. And a lot of times we saw in this match that Djokovic returned the serve right to the feet of Medvedev, even though it was a good serve, and Medvedev just had no answer. He didn't have time to recover from that. And that is what caused the issues for Medvedev. He was under constant pressure to hold his serve, and then eventually, when he did hold his serve, then he was under pressure, because from the baseline also Djokovic was playing well. And surprisingly, I would say Djokovic served very, very well today, and you can see that in the stats. 67% of first serves put in from Djokovic, and a good percentage of win as well, 73%. But the main point is on his second serve. So Djokovic really put in a good second serve, and he was able to dictate play even on the second serve and was able to defend well. So hence 63% of the points won on the second serve as well. Breakpoint conversions, I would say again, he created many chances. So after the first set, I think Djokovic was in command throughout, and the break of serve was not an issue for him. He did have multiple breaks of serve. Medvedev was looking out of sorts. He was not able to control his emotions, and that is one of the reasons why the match went into the hands of Djokovic so easily. Winners, of course, Medvedev was expected to hit more winners. He was the more aggressive player of both of them, but then it came at a price of the unforced errors. So he made like 30 unforced errors. And then, if you see, the weakness of Medvedev's game lies in his forehand. So if we can stretch Medvedev, on his forehand side a little bit, that Djokovic was able to do today, then it definitely causes an issue for Medvedev, because his forehand shot is not as consistent as his backhand, and it was quite evident. Now most of the players try to attack each other's backhand, but Djokovic knew that fact and he was prepared to go to Medvedev's forehand. And I think that was strategically a very good move. And that is why you can see most of the forehand errors came from Medvedev, 15 in total. So I think that is a big factor in today's match that went in favor of Djokovic. And if you see the rallies as well, I think regardless of the length of rally, I think Djokovic was in command, as you can see here, whether it is 0 to 4 shots or 5 to 8 shots or 9 plus. In any case, Djokovic was better than Medvedev. So I think a virtuoso performance from Djokovic, as he did against Nadal a couple of years back in 2019 in the same tournament. He was serving well, he was playing well from the baseline, and his defense was just outstanding. Even today, from shot to shot, side to side, he was running, sliding, and it never looked like he was in any sort of trouble defending, which was quite evident in the match with Tsitsipas, because Tsitsipas was struggling from the baseline. You could see that he was not able to keep up with the pace of Medvedev, but that was not the case with Djokovic. He was quite comfortable hanging in back there and trying to defend. When required, he was also able to attack. So all in all, I would say a really good match from Djokovic, and not many errors. So you can see like total 20 winners he hit and only 17 unforced errors. So a very good ratio there as well. Now, the key factors in this victory were, of course, Djokovic's return of serve and Djokovic's serve himself, because he was serving really nicely. He started off very well. Right from the start, he was playing as if he was supposed to win this championship. And then it didn't look like he was any sort of under any sort of pressure. There were talks that he's going to win his 18th Grand Slam, so there would be some sort of pressure on him because Nadal and Federer already have 20, and the distance seems to be increasing between these players. But today, Djokovic proved that he is the man to beat, at least at the Australian Open. And you can see Djokovic's defensive skills. Djokovic's temperament was very, very good throughout the match. He did not look frustrated at all. He was playing well within himself, whereas Medvedev, broke his racket after he lost the set, and then he was also looking constantly at his box. I mean, he missed some of the very easy balls, one would say, just because he was not able to focus after the first set, whereas Djokovic was constant throughout. His level didn't drop even a little bit. And even though Medvedev had a few chances, he was able to break Djokovic in the first set. He was able to come back, and also in the set number 2 and 3, he was able to break Djokovic, but still he couldn't capitalize on that, and he was immediately broken back. And I think that was also a factor because of his focus. So Djokovic's temperament also has to be given a lot of credit here. Now, what does this Grand Slam mean? What is the impact? I think the impact is going to be really big. This should come as a big relief for Djokovic, because he was, he didn't win a Grand Slam for 1 year now. I think he won his last Grand Slam last year at the Australian Open. And since then, Nadal has reached 20 Grand Slams. So now Nadal and Federer are both tied. And people were saying that if Djokovic is not able to win a Grand Slam in the coming months, then it would be really difficult for him to catch the total tally of 20 Grand Slams. But now, as he's reached 18, it's just two behind. So I think the next couple of Grand Slams are going to be really important. Roland Garros, we know that Nadal is the favorite there, and at Wimbledon is Federer. If Federer is able to come back strong, if Federer is able to play well, and if he is fit, then of course he will be a strong contender at Wimbledon. So very interesting times, next two Grand Slams, and those two Grand Slams may actually decide who ends up with the most number of Grand Slams at the end of their careers. So I think a very, very well played tournament for Djokovic, and if he can somehow win one of those two Grand Slams, the next two, I think he would be in a very good position to overtake the big two guys. Of course, it will be interesting to see how they play in the next month. I think Federer is making a comeback in Doha. He's also decided to play in Dubai. Let's hope that he comes back fitter, stronger, like he came back in 2017. And let's hope he wins Wimbledon this year. And also for Nadal, I would say he's the favorite at Roland Garros, and I think if he is fit, I don't see anybody beating Nadal at Roland Garros because he's just too good there. And for Medvedev, I think the second Grand Slam lost, but I think he's improving as a player, even though he needs to work on his temperament a little bit. He's not as focused, but his game is really good. And on hard courts, I think even though uh, he lost in straight sets, I think the first set was really competitive and it could have gone either way. So, good game, good backhand, a complete player. He just needs to focus more on coming forward to the net. Medvedev improve his volleys a little bit, and then, of course, his temperament to play at the same level for three sets. So, I think in future he will definitely be a Grand Slam finalist or Grand Slam. He'll win Grand Slam titles for sure, and he'll have Tsitsipas, the likes of Zverev competing with him. So I think definitely he'll have better chances because when Novak, Federer, or Nadal are playing, it's really difficult for any of these younger players to actually make a breakthrough because they need to beat around two to three players, two to three out of these big three to win the game. So if they beat Nadal or Federer, again they need to face Djokovic in the finals. So that is really a challenging task for them. So let's hope the next two Grand Slams turn out to be really interesting. And thanks for watching.